Have you ever thought to yourself that you could really level up if you just had a little bit more money? Or maybe you could really level up if you just had a little bit more time. And it gets frustrating because you see where you're at and where you want to be, and you think, man, if I just had the money to take that opportunity, then I could level up. Or if I just had the time to take that opportunity, then I could really level up. Has that ever been you? Have you ever been frustrated by not having the time or the money you need to succeed? Well, if that has been you, you are in the right place. Because in this training, I want to show you where to get the time and the money you need to succeed. And I'm going to show you how to do that without avoiding your responsibilities, without slacking off, without skipping work or something like that. I'm also going to show you where to get the money without taking on debt, without working 3 jobs or something like that. I'm going to show you where these things come from so that you can tap into them and make it rain on demand. You will be able to create time and create money. When you have that power, there are no more barriers between you and success. Now, I know this sounds like snake oil. The idea that you could work less but make more. I got it, friends. It does sound like craziness. Then I'm going to show you how to work. So I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to take my word for it. All I ask is that you try this concept out for yourself. Try it out in your business and see if you think it's a good fit for the way that you do things. Does that sound fair? And before we get started, maybe a little bit about myself so you know who this guy is that's going to be taking you through this training. My name is Jared Anning, and I work as a performance coach. And what I do is I train business owners and leaders in the thinking pattern of success. My clients, they normally double their income in the first year, and they do that by purposely working less hours. I know it sounds like craziness, right? Hear me out. Try this strategy out for yourself in your own business. Let me know if you think it's a good fit for you. I'm also the reigning world tickle champion in the 5-year-old category. Woo! All right, friends, let's dive in. Where does money come from? If you don't have any money in your pocket, how do you get the money in your pocket? Maybe you say, well, I'll go ask my boss if I can have some extra hours. Maybe you say, well, I ask a friend if I could borrow some money. Maybe you say, well, I go ask my neighbor if I can cut the grass for him. If you don't have money in your pocket, how do you get the money? Where do you go? Do you go to the bank? Well, if there's no money in your bank account, how do you get it from the bank? All the bank really does is funnel the money from, here's the key, somebody else's pocket into your pocket. All the money you need to succeed is currently in other people's bank accounts. And the way we get it from their bank account into your bank account is through an exchange of value. And the more value you exchange, the more money comes into your life. And the way we exchange value is by making offers. Larry Winget is a demotivational speaker. He writes books like Shut Up, Get Alive, or I think one of my favorites is It's Your Own Damn Fault You're Broke. He's got this great quote. He says, if you don't have as much money as you want, either you're not as good as you think you are, or you're not making enough phone calls. And that, my friends, is the key. The more calls you make, the more offers you make, the more money you have coming into your life. Okay, let's look practically what this looks like. Let's say one day you come home and Mother Nature has picked up your house and relocated it. Now, when Mother Nature relocates our houses, that's not the main problem. The main problem is Mother Nature never puts the house back in its original shape. So your house has been moved and it's no longer habitable. You come home and bam, there's nothing but an empty slab waiting for you. What do? You get on the phone. You call a hotel. Say, hey, y'all have extra room tonight? We need to stay there. Maybe you call a friend. Hey, listen, I just lost my house. I don't know what's going on. Can I stay on your couch? When you don't have a place to live, how do you solve that problem? You solve it by getting in communication with people. Maybe a little bit smaller example. Let's say that for whatever reason, there was a solar flare in your part of the world and that caused you to lose access to your bank account. You cannot transfer money, wire money, go to the bank. You've got money there, but you just can't get it. And you have a cell phone bill coming up. How are you going to pay your cell phone bill if you don't have access to your money? What do you do? Well, maybe you call the cell phone company. You say, y'all are never going to believe this. We just had a solar flare over here, and I can't access my accounts. They're all done, froze up. Would you delay my payment a week while we get this straightened out? I sure appreciate it. Now, maybe the cell phone company says, no, we're not. So, all right, what do you do now? They said no. Well, you get back on the phone. And if your phone doesn't work, you go to a friend and use their phone, right? You tell your friend, you say, hey, listen, this is the craziest thing ever, right? Had a solar flare over here, lost access to all my accounts. Cell phone company won't delay the payment by a week. Would you spot me 200 so I can keep my phone going? If you didn't have the money or you didn't have access to money, how would you solve that problem? You solve it by getting in communication. If you don't have enough money, it's because you're not having enough conversations of an exchange of value. Make more offers, have more money coming in. Money isn't something that exists. Money is something that we create by adding value to other people's lives, by being in communication with them. A friend of mine was in this high-end mastermind program. I mean, high dollar stuff, right? And the payments were like a couple $1,000s a month just to be in part of this thing. And he hit a slow spot in his business. And the slow spot was so bad that he wasn't going to be able to make the next monthly payment. And if he didn't make the next monthly payment, he wouldn't have been able to finish the mastermind with his peers, and he wouldn't have been able to succeed with the project. And this was going to be a problem. And he had a lot invested with this group of people. He didn't have the money to pay to continue the training. So what did he do? He got on the phone, started talking with other members of the group, and just told them, said, hey, guys, I love what we're doing here. I want to see it out. But the truth is, I cannot finish my training this month. I can't make the payment. My business is down, and I just don't have the money. He just got, you guys have any ideas? What should I do? Where should we go from here? How can I solve this problem? And what happened? Somebody made the payment for him. How did he get the money to pay the bills when he didn't have it? He got in communication. Amazing things will happen when you simply ask for it. Another friend of mine, his business was in a slow spot. And it was so slow, he was like, oh my gosh, do I need to take out a loan, like a bridge loan to get me from here to there? Do I need to get a second job? Am I in the wrong career? He was just, man, he was starting to wig out. It was super hard. And I said, well, get in communication with your peers. So all he did was simply start talking with his peers again, renew some of those relationships. Talked to 5 of them. 2 of them gave him tens of thousands of dollars in value. One of them volunteered to market his next event for free. The other one volunteered to manage and organize the next event for free. All because he got in communication. If you need more money coming into your life, simply have more conversations. That's what you do. What problem can you solve? What are your skills? What are your values? Who needs those problems solved? Who can you call? And then when you going to pick up the phone, make it rain, my friend. Now, let's say that you're not sure what your skill set is. You're not sure what value you can bring. Skip to step number 2. Don't let that stop you. Get on the phone, start calling people. Well, we start calling them. Now, maybe you're not sure who to call. So go to step 3. When? Right now. Pick up your phone, look at the last person you talked to, and call them. Get into conversation with them. Once you get in conversation with them, what do you do next? Ask them what they need. Hey, listen, what's going on in your life? What would help? What do you feel is getting in the way of that? What have you tried in the past? How long has that been going on? What's it costing you? If we did solve that problem together, what would you want it to look like? How would you want that delivered? What do you think a good next step is for us to take? Just get in communication, start asking them questions. The more questions you ask, the more offers you make, the more money comes in. One of the speakers at a $300 million company, this company has $5,000 attendees coming to events. One of the speakers, one of the $1 million earners that's going to be sharing the stage coming up, they got started with no money. The way they started, they needed a computer to get into the business. They didn't have a computer and they didn't have the money to get a computer. So what they did was start calling businesses up and say, hey, I noticed you have this piece missing on your website. I would love to put it in place. Would you let me do that for you? Business says, yeah, we do want that. That'd really save us a lot of money and make us a lot of money. And he just worked out a deal with them. So he put a couple businesses together. They helped pay for his new computer. He provided the service, and that allowed him to go to the next level. And now, a couple years later, he's $1 million earner speaking on the stage for a $300 million company. Are you kidding me? Because he got in communication. There was a time that I used to buy houses all over the country. I mean, we would buy houses for like $3,000 a piece. We'd buy them for $5,000 a piece, whatever. We'd owner finance them for $30,000 or $40,000 or whatever the neighborhood was. And then we'd season the note. We'd take payments on it. And then after a while, we would sell the note to a note buyer. And so we would able to double, triple our money every year doing this. Well, when I got started, I didn't have $5,000 for a house. I didn't have money to buy these houses, even though they were super duper cheap. How did I get the money? Got on the phone. Hey, friend, I've got this opportunity and I need some help, or I'm going to miss out on it. This house is only $5,000. We can owner finance it for $30,000 and then sell the note. By the time we sell the note, we'll get a discount, but we'll still double or triple our money on it. Would you like to partner with me on this house? And by doing that, I was able to raise $100,000 in 3 months, which gave me more than I needed to buy these houses. One of the houses, by the way, I was featured on ABC Nightline for that house. Boy, that was a crazy story. Had a good time doing that. But I got the money when I didn't have it by getting on the phone, making offers. This guy here, Garrett White, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but his company is a $30 million company. He grew it over the past 8 years and maybe 10 years, started with absolutely nothing. At the end of 2008, he had lost everything in the mortgage crisis. And he had this vision, though, of what was possible in men's lives. He's starting with no money. His marriage is in shambles. And he started building his movement, Wake Up Warrior. And at that time, I wrote him and said, Garrett, how did you start at the bottom? You had no money, no resources, how did you get started? And he said, wherever you're at in life, there is somebody who can learn from you, and there's somebody that you can learn from. So all I did is I just rounded up a small group of guys and got started teaching them what little I knew. He built it by being in communication. This guy here, Michael Robinson, Rubio, this guy, another entrepreneur, had no money and he needed money. So his company now, multi-million-dollar company, and he's doing just killer stuff with cryptocurrency. He's got a company that will pay you to travel to locations. Are you kidding me? Not only is your vacation free, but you actually get paid to go. What? Are you kidding me? So this guy didn't have any money. His travel company now is in partnership with billionaires, like Richard Branson type people, okay? The way he started was he called up some hotels. He said, hey, listen, I know that you've got some empty rooms. Would you like for me to fill those rooms for you and get you customers in the gift shop spending money? He made an offer. Now, several hotels turned him down. They said, no, we don't want your help. We're going to do it on our own. Some hotels were like, we're tired of having those empty rooms and we want more money coming through the gift shop. What you got, man? He made an offer, partnered up. He didn't have the money. He created the money by creating an offer and getting in communication with people. If you don't have enough money in your life, have more conversations, add more value, make more offers. When you get them on the phone, what can I solve? Who needs help with that? When am I going to talk to them? Now, maybe money isn't what's holding you back from succeeding. Maybe you've got more than enough money. You're doing good there. Maybe it's time, and you're missing out on time to level up your company and go to the next level. So let's look at where time is created. Some people have this illusion that productivity is a function of being organized, that the more they work on their to-do list and the more things they check off their to-do list, the more they get done. Well, the truth is, checking things off your to-do list actually reduces your income. What? Are you kidding me? Yes, I am telling you that using a to-do list and being focused on getting things done, not only does it keep you from getting things done, but it also reduces your effectiveness and your income. Now, for some people, this is just, there's no way. You've got to be, bear with me. I want to show you why that's true, that the less you work, the more you make. I'm going to show you why that's true in a little bit. And it kind of has to do with what our friend Einstein said years ago, that you can't solve a problem by the same level of thinking that created it. And that level of thinking that says, I've got to get more done, I don't have time, I've got to work harder and faster, that level of thinking that says getting things done is what matters most, an achievement and a result, what it produces is more things to do. It doesn't get things done, it just causes the brain to look for more things to do. So we need to find another solution. Now, in your situation, if you feel like you don't have enough time to level up or enough money to level up, there are 3 things that are true about your situation where you're at. Number 1, you are currently doing all you know to do about it. I mean, right? You're not a slacker. You're working hard. You're hustling. You're putting in the hours. You're doing everything you know to do. If there's something else to be doing, you'd be doing it, right? Number 2, the things that you're doing to level up, to break through, those strategies currently make sense. They're reasonable, they're logical, they're rational, they make a lot of sense. Well, duh, if it didn't make sense, wouldn't be doing it. What that means is that a breakthrough in your situation will at first sound like a bad idea. If it made sense, you'd already be doing it, right, friend? It's like when we were kids learning how to ride a bicycle. They just took the training wheels off and we didn't have it yet. Maybe we'd already fallen down and skinned a knee. I don't know if you had that. I certainly had that. It sucked. I hadn't learned how to ride yet and I'd already crashed and it hurt. Oh man, what's going on now? Well, in that moment when we didn't have balance, you're 5 years old, right? Your crazy Aunt Jenny comes by with some advice. Crazy Aunt Jenny says, what you need to do is go faster. Because when you go faster, it's easier to balance. And you thought to yourself, now I know why they call her Crazy Aunt Jenny, because that is the dumbest idea I have ever heard. Going faster, I mean, if I can't balance going slow, how in the world is going fast? That's just going to make it worse. That's the worst idea I've ever heard, Crazy Aunt Jenny. And then one day, you found yourself going faster. And in that moment, you felt balance. And when you felt balance, then you understood. Before you felt the difference, no amount of explanation made a difference. After you felt the difference, no amount of explanation was needed. You know, when we run into obstacles in life, maybe you back into something in your car, the only time you'd ever back into something is because you didn't see it. If you saw it, you would have avoided it, right? So when we keep hitting the same obstacle, not having enough time, not having enough money, the only time that happens in our life is because there is something about that situation that our brain hasn't seen yet. If you can't see it, you can't avoid it. That's where I want to introduce you to the work of this man here, Robert Hartman. In the 1960s, he came out with a Nobel-nominated Hartman value profile that has been an absolute game changer. And his work is the basis for the success that my clients have when they double their income by purposely working less hours, because of what it reveals about their thinking patterns, how they're solving these problems, what opportunities are available that they could be missing. The Nobel-nominated Mind Scan, just amazing what it does for them. A couple examples, and this is around the topic of where time comes from. When we talk to somebody and say, do you ever have more on your to-do list than you have time to get done? They go, oh my gosh, all the time. I say, well, have you tried working harder and faster? I say, oh man, I do. I try every time. I try working. When you get to the end of the day, does it feel like you're really busy, but you didn't like move the ball forward in a meaningful way? They say, yeah, it does. Truthfully, yeah, it does. I just got to do it again tomorrow. When we talk to that kind of individual who's working harder and faster, who's focused on getting things done, who's diligent about checking things off their to-do list, this is what their thinking patterns look like on paper through the Nobel nominated process I was telling you about. Notice that in that middle column, the action column, they have a high priority, high value on taking action. Results matter, action matters. Now, you would think that the kind of person that values getting things done and is focused on results, you would think that they would produce results, but they don't. And that's why we call this shape, whenever it shows up, the chevron of stress, because it's very stressful to be working harder and faster, doing all you know to do, and just not move the ball forward. Year after year, you make the same amount of money, you have the same amount of free time or lack thereof left over. So you say to yourself, well, next year I just need to try harder. Next year you do all you know to do and you end up right back in the same place. It's stressful, frustrating as heck. Now, I want you to think of somebody that is incredibly successful. This could be a mentor of yours in the past. This could be somebody you read about in a book. They own multiple companies. They sit on multiple nonprofit boards. They have time to give back to the community. Their hobbies are very successful. They probably spend 20 hours a week on their hobbies, golfing or fishing or sailing or whatever it is. And no matter how many responsibilities they have or how much money they have going on, they still have time for you. You could call them up in the middle of the day and they would have time. They wouldn't feel rushed or behind or scattered. I don't know if you've met somebody in your life like that, but when we do a mind scan for that individual, this is what their thinking pattern looks like. Notice for the kind of person that works less but makes more, for the kind of person that when they're at work, the byproduct they're creating is free time. Notice for that individual, they have a high value on planning, thinking, organizing, and they have a high value on people, relating, and emotions. When this shows up, we call it the leadership V. So here's the deal. There's no limit to the number of systems you can build to support you. There's no limit to the number of people you can build to support you. But if you are focused on doing the work yourself, there's a very hard limit on what you personally can get done. I want you to write this down if you're taking notes. If you're doing the work, your company is falling behind. Because if you're spending your time doing the work, what it means is in that moment, you're not building systems to support you. You're not building people to support you. So tomorrow, you're going to have to do it again. Now, for the person in that chevron stress, what they say to themselves when their list is overflowing, they say, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. I don't have time to plan. I have to do. I don't have time to delegate. I have to do. But for the effective individual who works less but makes more, when they see that emergency, they say, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do. I have to plan. I don't have time to do. I have to delegate. And they go to work building systems and people to support them. Consequently, they spend their day in their sweet spot. They spend their day doing the thing they do better than anyone else. Because of that, they were able to make it rain. They were able to reach more people and make a bigger difference because they have systems and people in place to support them. Now, maybe you're really under the gun. Things are on fire. It feels super duper urgent. You're like, no, I'm telling you, my situation is different. No one else can do this with me, and it has to be done. I agree that Leadership V is an optimal way to run your business, and in the end, it produces more free time and more income, and you reach more people. But my situation, I'm telling you, it's bad. All right, friend, here's what I want you to do. Right now, start the rest of your day with the task that makes the most money for you. Whatever that is, teaching, consulting, networking, marketing, sales, whatever it is that you do better than anyone else, I want you to spend the next few minutes of your day doing that. After that, then you can go to work on the administrative tasks that you see are getting in the way. The truth is, if you start your day trying to check things off your list, get those emails out of the way, get those phone calls out of the way, get that paper out of the way, as the day goes on, more things crop up to fill up your day and steal away your time. And you never get to that $500 or $1,000 an hour task. Start your day in your genius. End your day with those little tasks. If you will do that for a couple days, it won't be long before you have the money to build the systems and hire the people, my friends. All right. At the end of every day, Did I plan today? If you don't have enough time, time comes from planning. It's not something we have, it's something we create. Did I build relationships today? If you are building systems and building people, as time goes on, your life will get easier. You'll have more free time, you'll have more money, you'll be reaching more people, you'll be making a bigger difference. So every day, set a new PR, plan and relationship. Did I plan today? Did I reach out? Where does money come from again? Money comes from other people's pockets. How do we get it into our pockets? By making offers. Money is an exchange of value. The more communication you're in, the more conversations you're having, the more questions you're asking people what they need and what would help, the more offers you're making, the more money's coming in. And the more value it is to them, the higher the amount of money is that comes in, my friends. Do not focus on checking things off your list because that reduces your income. Focus on building systems to support you and people to support you. If you will do that, you'll find yourself with more free time left over. You'll find yourself more effective. You'll find yourself making more money because you're starting to operate as a leader and not as a doer. Every day, ask yourself, did I plan? Did I reach out? All right, now I don't know what your personal situation is. Maybe this isn't something that bothers you or is frustrating to you. Maybe your situation is unique. And you know, when you go to the doctor doesn't say, let's try this out. Let's see what happens. The doctor says, well, let's go down the hall and take an MRI. That way we know what's going on in your body. So we'll go take an MRI and the radiologist holds up the picture and goes, right here, this is where our opportunity is to turn this ship around. And the doctor goes, now I know exactly how to treat that. When you work with a performance coach, when you work with someone like myself, we don't guess. We take a picture of what's going on so we know exactly where your breakthrough is. If you're interested in finding that picture for yourself, you can go here, mindsetperformance.co/MindScan. I've got a short little kind of form there for you to see if the mind scan would even be helpful for you. If it's not going to be helpful for you, I'm not going to waste your time with it. But if you want that fingerprint of your thinking patterns, if you want your breakthrough map, this could be a way that you can get it. Stop by there. If you have any questions, I would be happy to help however I can. I look forward to seeing you in the next training, my friend.